So he said at the end of Eis Gimel, rather. Eis Gimel is one Eis. So Eis Gimel said, in essence, anybody wants to proffer, is that the right word? A summary? What was the Nakud of Eis Gimel? That the Chofetz Chesed is transformed. The Chofetz Chesed, God's desire to bestow good and kindness, is the overt and first revelation, truth is, first revelation, expression, projection of Hashem. But does it start there? Does creation start with Chofetz Chesed? No. So where does it start? It starts within Atzmos, Hayat, and Gilui, and what's that? Huh? Right, and what is the Machshava Atzmis? Neshamas Yisrael, the avoid of Neshamas Yisrael. He emphasizes the avoid of Neshamas Yisrael. I mean, the avoid obviously touches him so essentially because they're rooted there. And then comes the Chofetz Chesed. So therefore, what comes out? In terms of timeline, the avoid of Eden comes out only at the end, after the whole creation and Matan Torah and the whole history. So till then, what's dominated reality is Shtalshalas creation, God's benevolence. Wonderful, nice God. But then when Yidden emerge and do their avodah, so what happens? This is the whole point of the Maimer. Now what happens? The whole point of Eis Gimel? No, there's copies. No? I think we have here, right? Baruch Hashem. We'll make more copies. Yeah, that's not a problem. What we have there. This is
This you decide to come home.
okay, I'm gonna make more copies. Sorry. I made 10, 12.
I sold here.
Okay, it's good ideas you should take also home. Or downstairs. So make more copies. Okay, anybody? No? So what happens to the Chofetz Chesed?
It gets an upgrade.
It gets an upgrade, correct. So that's elaboration. What does that mean?
Reward for his avodah.
Huh?
A reward for his avodah.
A reward, a reward to the Jew for his avodah.
He becomes Eis Gil, he becomes Etzem.
Isis.
He's not an expression, he is. He's not trying to okay. Say it.
Huh? Maybe we could put it this way, and using the Moishe we used yesterday. Chofetz Chesed at the outset this is a loving person. It's a nice person. Now it's I love you. It's a very different love. Beginning of creation, it was a statement exclusively about Hashem. He's a wonderful, loving God, and wants to bestow kindness, and therefore creates in order to bestow kindness upon his beneficiaries, his creation. But then when Yidden emerge, it's not just he's a loving God, but I love you. And why do I love you? That's the key. You meaning every Yid. The Moishe we gave yesterday, no? Because we're soulmates. The example we gave was the nice bachelor, the nice guy before he's married, and he's a nice guy. He treats everybody wonderfully, and he's the nicest guy in town. And he expresses he's a loving person. But then when he meets his soulmate, it's a complete transformation. It's a whole different level of love. That was never exhibited before, because he never met her before. But she was always there. Be'etzem, she was always there, just not in his conscious life. But then when he meets his soulmate, the love he expresses to her is a completely different love. That's an essential Ava Atzmis. That's exactly what's with the Eivisht. Except, obviously, God knows what's going to be, and that's what started the whole process. He doesn't know who he's going to marry. God knows because the soulmates are there before everything begins. But that lurks in the background. Jews only emerge by Avram, Yetzias Mitzrayim, Matan Torah. The whole creation is driven at the outset by Chafetz Chesed. Nice guy, nice God, excuse me. Don't mean to be disrespectful. Nice God. Now he's no longer a nice God. Now, because Avodah of Yidden, what it's expressing, what's keeping the whole world going and all along Be'etzem, this whole project is his Jew, his Yid, his soulmate. So the Chafetz Chesed is now completely transformed as a result of Avodah. To rephrase that in a different language, completely. Okay? Creation begins with a benevolent creator. A benevolent creator. That's his whole relationship with creation. The great artist, the great sensitive, loving, wonderful, beautiful, sometimes terrifying artist. Oh, that's seen in creation. That's the God creation knows. Who is he? He's a wonderful creator. Look what he made. Look how beautiful. Then when Yidden come along, what's revealed? That's what God is, a creator. Answer my question. What happens now? That's it. That's it. What a wonderful problem. Need another chair. We'll use that. Okay. So tell me, what happens now when Yidden come along? God is defined. That's what he is. It's a creator. No. What would you describe it him as now? There's a whole new level of the divine is revealed. Let's give another example, make it even clearer. A guy who's a very talented builder, he builds homes and the masterpieces. He loves what he's doing, everybody's happy. And then one day he builds a home and he gets married. And he lives in that home. Someone asks, is that home the same as all the other homes he built? Physically the same, Because that's when he looks at this home, and that's an expression of him. When he comes up, when he drives by, walks by, goes in, how does he relate to this home as opposed to the other ones? The other homes are his production, and they're very nice. But this home where he lives and shares with his soulmate, this is not just a nice, pretty building. This touches his core. He's invested there on an essential level. And that's what happens when you didn't come along and emerge and do the Avodah. So the builder discovers that his whole, really what drove his desire to be a builder all along. Pardon?
Was not benevolence.
Was really because he's looking for his soulmate to share himself in a home. That's what drove that whole thing. So for the builder, the guy got a surprise he did because it was so latent. He wasn't aware of it. He doesn't know he's looking for his soulmate. He doesn't know that level of fulfillment awaits him to be a husband and a father. How could he know? But for the Eibishter, that's the Machshava Atzmis that started the whole thing. This whole building project, because I want a little home to share myself with my soulmate, with my Yiddeler. So that transforms the whole building project, the whole Chafetz Chesed revelation. Okay, now is this clearer? More Mashalim. I'm done. Maybe you have some Mashalim. Okay, let's go. Is Dalit. It's probably the most accurate marshal because we're talking about Dida and a home, and that's the. And of course, marriage is a reflection of our relationship with the Eibishter. Okay, Is Dalit. Yeah, Vihine. I can send it to you, or you can share. Okay. We're missing Yirmiyahu.
He was the copy boy?
What?
He was the copy boy?
Yeah, no. Yossi Sachs, anybody knows this with Yossi and with the, huh? Okay, have to reach out to him and Avner. Everybody shows up. We're gonna need a different. We'll learn and the.
Well, we'll continue moving in this rhythm. Next week, the shir is downstairs in the big show.
Yeah, sure. Okay, what?
Raise down.
What's that?
Raise down.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the scene. I'm from this from this perspective. I've actually never seen this,
About the evidence. Want to record it.
but I'm basking in it. V'hinei inyan zeh, so this inyan. What inyan? She'isha mazas tchili led the zochem b'dela ma'ila she'b'rusa latata. We'll be speaking about the ma'ila of Esrusa latata, which we just spoke about now. That whole thing begins with the Eibishter machshava atmes entertaining the avodah of Yidden. That's the pnimi, is the etzem of that drives it all. So this pirush, very big chiddush now coming. Now the ma'id v'asrusa delatata d'avodah v'yid. Gam la pirush ale desazocha tipas ha'isha bam b'achroin dialogava. It's also true, according to the first pirush the Alter Rebbe brought of the philosophers, that the male is born because she's first, Isha mazas tchila, and then comes the husband, and that is Ilah Govar, that dominates, and hence a boy. So the first pirush, but the simple difference between the two pirushim, fill in the blank. According to the first pirush, the male is attributed in the end to who? Beginning the end to who? Basically, the first pirush, the man. The Alter Rebbe's pirush, the maskon, is that the male child, which is the enduring relationship, symbolically, is attributed to who? The Alter Rebbe, the maskon, the Isha, it's also the Tata. Now he says that even according to the pirush, the first pirush, that we attribute the zocha, the male child, to the husband, there too it brings out the ma'ila v'sarusa delatata. How so? According to this first pirush of the Alter Rebbe brings, what's the ma'ila? It also points to the virtue of our avodah, but it's not relevant. It's present, but what's the virtue? Who she's sibush asarusa delayla nimshechas al yoda tiyam abchinis naili yoyse logava. The revelation from above would be a different revelation if there wouldn't be this harusa latata first. This harusa latata first elicits a very lofty revelation, and therefore you let the zocha. So even though you let the zocha, the male child, which is like the enduring midas again, the enduring relationship, the end of the day, we could say that's the husband's doing. Ilah gova. But that's only because it comes as a result of Isha first. If there would just be Sarusa de La'ela without the Isha, then there's no birth at all. So it still points to the virtue of Isarusa de Latata. What's the virtue here? Without Isarusa de Latata, the Isarusa de La'ela is a much lower one, a much more shallow one. So the old expression, the woman maketh the man. He is because of her. Yeah, clear? Okay, continuing now. But then the maskana, what's the maskana saying? The maskana is no. We're attributing the whole inyan to the Zera Isha. Well, what's the role of the male then? So, first we're stating, according to the second pirush, it's not that this Arusa de Latata elicits a very lofty Yisrusa de Leila. That's the first pirush. The second pirush is no, there's the Mailin, the Yisrusa de Tata itself, in the Isha herself. Yeah? The Rebbe suggests now as follows. Harem is the hint of the Alter Rebbe ba'aseh de shnei pirushim. Why the Alter Rebbe brings the pirushim in this order, first the philosophers and then the maskana. First he says, attributing that the birth of the zocher of the male is attributed to the ilah, the husband, the mila. Even though the conclusion is, so why even bring the first one? Just bring the conclusion. He already addressed that. Because there is the mila v'sarusa de latata, but on its own. But now he wants to bring out the mila v'sarusa de latata, even in its role in the sarusa de leila. Ki betchilas, let's see inside the words. Ki betchilas avoda. There's two stages. The outset of avoda, mila sarusa de latata. What's the virtue of our avoda? Sarusa de latata, adus de leila. If we invest. And then God responds. It's a greater revelation than if it's just coming unilaterally from Hashem. But then that's level one. And then that reveals afterwards that it's not that Sarusa Latata elicits a higher response, but there's a mile in our Avodah that touches the Eibishter deeper, period. This is the machshava atzmis that is higher than any divine revelation. We'll get now to explain. Okay, let's just get the outline, and now we're going to go into detail. The conclusion now is like this: the two pirushim the Alter Rebbe brings in the Kotei Torah that I was explaining. Why does he bring the first one if he rejects it anyway? He says, no, the Yeled Zochar is Isha Mazat Chila, it's her doing, not him. So why bring the Pirush of the philosophers that it's his doing? Because he wants to bring it like this, that even there it's her, the original Sarusa, the Sarusa, not the original, the arousal of God's response that comes as a result of our Avodah is a higher revelation than if there wouldn't be our Avodah. That's number one. So even as we're talking about the Ma'ile v'Sarusa de Leila, there's a bracket. You know what? There's a real Ma'ile when it comes to Zat of your Avodah. When God's responding to your Avodah, that's a higher, deeper revelation when God is just benevolence without you contributing any role at all. That's brought up by the first Pirush. Ilah Govar. But why is Ilah Govar? Because Isha Mazras Tchila. So that Ilah Govar is a higher Ilah than if it wouldn't be Mazras Tchila. Clear? Pirush number one. Then comes the Avodah of Yidden, a second understanding that our relationship with God in its deepest is really forged by us alone. By Isarusa de Latata Mamash. That's the deepest connection. The deepest connection is because of us, not because of him. Again, because he started to say, because what motivated the whole creation is our Avodah. Isarusa de Latata started everything. Machshava atzmis is of what? Of our Avodah. That's in the etzem, before any giluim, before anything. What did God entertain? What motivated it all is not what he's giving, it's what he's getting from us. The Sarusa de Latata be'etzem is the deepest connection that only comes out once we do the Avodah.
So apply to the muscle.
Wait. So it comes out like this. The outset of creation, pure Chofetz Chesed. So God's bestowing. There's no Avodah. Then come Yidden, and they do the Avodah. So then there's a new revelation from Hashem that is higher than creation of the outset because there's being earned, there's Avodah going on. And that then reveals that not that because of our Avodah, God responds deeper, but that then reveals that it's our Avodah that started it all rooted in Atzmos. The pure mind of Sarusa de Latata. Okay, we're going to go more detail now in the mind itself. What, Chaim?
So put these two nekudas into the mashal.
I have to think. I don't know what we think. The Moshe gave the builder, the husband. Okay, just walk it through. Okay, walking it through in the Moshe of nice guy before marriage, builder. Yeah. Then he marries, discovers his soulmate. Second stage, so that transforms his love completely. And the third appreciation is what it put in simple language, l'chayra. Third appreciation is what transformed his love is uniquely her. Finding his soulmate, that's what completed him. She completes him. The middle stage is to transform the way he shows love. But the third appreciation is his completion is now thanks to her. So it's all pointing to her. I was incomplete without you. That's the mile of the Isha, period. So again, stage one, single is, look at the transformation of this guy. He's a wonderful fellow. He's a builder. Expresses love. Stage two, he's found his soulmate. He's living in his home. We look at the love that he's now emanating. It's a whole different love. It's atzmizdike love, but still his emanation. And stage three is the appreciation that he has, that he was fundamentally incomplete without her. So the shift completely in stage three is, so who brought this all about? His transformation and unlocked the depth of him that he never knew he even had. It's her. That's the motion. But the mind is going to, somewhat clear, 3 stages. Nice guy, love, marriage, a whole new level of love. Third level, fundamentally complete and whole. Not that the middle stage is, it's a whole new level of love he's expressing. It's beautiful. But still his expression. Here, the third level, third appreciation is you were half, you weren't complete. You weren't even you till you married her. She completes you. That's the inyan atzmi. Okay, let's see in the Maimer. Yeah. Yeah, the last words with the Jews. So that was going to explain. Understand all of the above explains in Lakota Torah. Look at Order 18. Okay, we'll look at it later. There's a third level of God's revelation to us, which is an absolute gift. Now, this is paradoxical. Let's see it. Now, gift implies what? Have you earned it? No. Nonetheless, actually, it doesn't bring it here. Maybe it does in the hardest. But Chassidus always brings that even a matana ilav the yovle neicha, you don't give a gift to anybody. Random, here's a gift. You only give a gift to someone who has caused you some kind of pleasure. That's true. What you're giving them is not because they earned it. You're not paying a reward. You're not paying wages. A gift is a gift and can unsolicited, and it's completely coming from you. But it doesn't come in a vacuum. There has to be a nachas ruch. So that plays into this now. So there's a level of Isrusa Delayla, which is called gift. This level, Nimsheches, is drawn on the one hand, it comes from a place where we can never reach. You can't earn a gift, it comes to you. Ella, however, but it doesn't come in a vacuum, it doesn't come, it's not random. In order this revelation come, this gift from God, so when you do, and a person does what he can do to the fullest, then he is granted a gift that's totally beyond him. This is similar to your gaita matzosa. No, you know the deal, huh?
Sounds more like a reward than a gift.
So it's not a reward. It's not a reward because what
You're
you,
not doing it, you're not getting it.
yeah, but what you're getting is far beyond what you ever did. A reward is commensurate to what you did. This is far beyond. On the other hand, it only comes when you've invested. So another way is l'chayra, you go to matzos the Rebbe's shaila, the lashon of the Mishnah. If you toil, you will find. But a metzia by definition means something unexpected. Metzia is a find. Oh, so it's a contradiction. So toiling. So the answer is that's the point. That it's not a metzia, it's a find. It's totally beyond. It's unexpected. But it only comes when there's yigir. It's not your gaita sakta. The lashon should be: if you toil, you'll achieve, you'll reach. Not you'll find. You got the whole diak is matzos, because the metzia means something. Oh, I never expected this, but only comes if you're searching. But what you find is way beyond your effort and what you have expected or imagined. So here too, there's a third level of Zarusa de Leila, which is a gift, but still it only comes as a result of Avodah. Zarusa de Letata, Zarusa de Leila, Shemshechas Al Yoda. Let's go back there. In order to have this revelation from Mom, it has to be the Avodah before that, which is two-pronged, two stages. Number one, Zarusa de Letata. Our Avodah, then God through the Leila, his commensurate response. Shemshechas Al Yoda, and then the third one beyond. So God's two responses. One is a reward response, and one's a matana response. Clear? So far? It's hard to understand that I don't know if this question is asked anywhere. You have to understand this. What's this gift business? The kavon, the whole purpose of the God's desiring that Hashem desired as a dwelling place down here. What's the whole point? It's not just here's the address, the dira, but it's made by the tachtoinim. That we make this ourselves in the world a home for God. The whole point is that we do it. Understood the loftiest revelations, even a revelation that's beyond our ken. That through our Avodah we can never reach, because it's beyond our overt source. And that even that that's the fact, we draw down atzmos. All of this God desires that we should what? Effect our avodah. So how does this fit what we just quoted? The through avodah nimshach we only reach a level where we can reach. But beyond us, that's not avodah, that's b'derech matana. Why is it called matana? As you're asking, basically, it's earned. Why are you calling it a matana? It's a contradiction. Why is it called matana? And if you're saying it's not, we said before, it's not random. It's only coming because you earned it. Even your gaita. Your gaita means you earned it. If your gaita matzasa. So even matzasa comes as a result only of your gaita. So why use the word gift, which implies that it's not our avodah when everything has to be? That's your whole point. You don't want to gift it to us. You want us to have earned it. So why are you calling it a matana? The explanation is that which we say that we can only through our avodah reach that level of godliness. That's part of creation to begin with. That's true. As part of creation, we can only reach the loftiest level of creation. It remembers the Raya and Nigla that you cannot go higher than your own source. Something cannot go higher than its own source. It's a law it's a scientific law. The Beis Hamikdash. Don't remember? No. Ayin Eitam, the mikveh, the water. A water will only rise as high as the source. It cannot travel and then rise higher than the place where the water started. Remember, coming back? So that's all true again. It's as we are nivroim. In brackets, Asusa the Tata, the arousal from the below. Who's the below? That's us, who are part of the below, the creation. Tata, Hanivdomelas, we are creation, separate from above. But a Jew is at once two things. On the one hand, externally, he's a creation. He's part of creation. The physical body, not just a physical body. His neshama emerges overtly. When it starts to assume an identity, it starts with the loftiest level, is Chachma Datzilus. That's part of Ishtalshalus. But Pnimis, however, invested in every Jew is Koicha Atzmos. That's Bamindim Lach. And that puts us completely outside of creation, which the world is now telling us. But because of the Koicha Atzmos, that you didn't have in square brackets, Commission's brother as we see before Siv Gimel. Quoting the Medrash, with whom did God consult before everything, this primal essential level? Who? The souls of tzaddikim. Who's that? Yidden. The source, the root of the avodah of Yidden is in God's essential being, thought. Hide in all revelations, Gama Giloyim, even the loftiest. So therefore, on that level, a Jew is not a lower creature, is not a higher creature. You can't separate between low and above. A Jew is from down here, and then there's levels that are above. He's beyond above and low. The Yidden and the Eibush are all one. Mitzad Atzmos, we do and touch the Eibush on the most essential level. To be continued, B'ez Hashem tomorrow.